Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the posting of the colors.
Cut. Present. Arms. Order. Arms. Right. Eight. Over. Arch.
Welcome seniors, parents, and members of the RMA community. Seniors, this evening is about celebrating you and all that you've accomplished at RMA. You are amazing. We would love nothing more than to be able to present these awards to you in person, to shake your hand, and give you a well-deserved hug. Although we're limited to an at-a-distance style ceremony, what you have achieved is far from limited. This night is about you. So let's get started.
Let us pray. Holy God, as we gather together to be able to celebrate, to be able to give recognition to the young men and women that have worked so hard over these years, God, we are grateful for the many blessings and the provisions that you have given to us and to our school. God, we know that this has been a different type of year as we have ended with distance learning. But God, we are thankful that in the midst of crisis and chaos and ups and downs, God, you are still with us. You have blessed us with an amazing school and a community that we are able to uphold even though we are apart. You have blessed us with families that have given these students this gift of education. Oh God, you have blessed us with teachers and mentors and coaches that have guided these students on their journey. You have blessed us simply with the ability to learn and to be able to grow and to use the gifts that you have given us to be able to build a better community and to be able to serve others. God, you have also provided for us even when we thought about giving up. You have provided for us during this time of transition. In this time of unknown, you are still with us and you are faithful. You have provided grace for us to be able to start each day over anew. God, you have provided friends and family that support us and that are with us to celebrate tonight. God, we recognize the hard work of these young people, and we want to give you all the honor and glory. And most importantly, we are grateful for the class of 2020 as they prepare to finish their time here at Randolph-Macon Academy, and as they prepare to go out into the world. We are grateful that you will go with them and that they will use their gifts and abilities that we recognize tonight to be able to serve others and to be able to better the world around them. We're thankful for your love and grace and for your presence with us. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Our first speaker this evening is Senior Class President Christine Ogbuebile. Christine, take it away.
Hello everyone, my name is Christine Ogbuebile, and I've had the pleasure of being this year's Class of 2020 President. We had a slow but strong start to begin the year, which then ended in an unexpected way, of course. I can say that these events have brought us even closer as a unit and as a class. Serving as your president has had its ups and downs, but in the end, your officers and I will never give up this opportunity to make sure that this was one of the best years of high school we ever had. We helped to plan the senior sunrise, made sure that seniors were attending sports and senior nights, as well as trips with the class of 1970. We planned so many activities for the month of May, from the decision day picture and hat rating, to the dinner cruise, to the final parade, to the senior sunset, and the time capsule. Of course, the end of the year activities we planned didn't happen, but we still found a way to stick together. This is why I love being part of this class. Even if I wasn't able to complete a task, someone else was willing to take charge for our team, and we're together. For example, about 3 weeks ago, Ozzy decided to create a time one Friday after school for us to hang out, play some games, talk, and rant about what's going on in our lives. Thank you, Ozzy, for that. I want to say thank you to Lieutenant Colonel Starling and General Wesley for helping us through this year's Class of 2020 privileges. Even though the coronavirus took it away from us, this time will serve as a blueprint for the Class of 2021. Thank you to Ms. Watson for being our advisor. She helped out so much, especially with the liaison with the Class of 1970, and also getting things moved up the chain of command. Lastly, thank you to my officers, Jonathan Bunker, my vice president, Rena Quay, my secretary, Connor, my treasurer, and Alan, my sergeant at arms, for being my people, because any decision that I made was implemented, they helped out as well. All this wouldn't be possible without them. Thank you to parents that went above and beyond, especially to the Wagners, Dr. Gawat, Mr. Bunker, the Waddells, Williams, and Sullivans. Thank you. So this year, we raised a lot of money, which will go towards a scholarship for the incoming freshmen. Our idea for the class gift was that we raise about $1,000 each, which is about $20 to $10 each per person, for a scholarship. That way, somebody that's an incoming freshman can, have some extra money to, take off their tuition. But since the money that we saved for the end of the year won't be used, we use that money towards a scholarship for any incoming freshman. By May 19th, I ask that you give what you can so that we can make our mark as a class. I always tell the same story about RMA. I came from a really big school. It had about 2,000 kids in it, and it was more of a sports school than academics. It was like sports and academics, but mainly sports. I played sports, but I did fairly well, and I wasn't different. I had been interim class president and treasurer, but this school, like I said, had 2,000 kids. RMA is a smaller school, so I thought that I could branch out and make my mark. In sports, in volleyball especially, I started out as most improved. And then senior year, I became the captain and most outstanding contributor. Then basketball. I joined basketball senior year, and if it wasn't for my friends pestering me for the last 3 years, I wouldn't have joined. And I really don't regret my decision on joining the basketball team. So thank you guys for that. In my spiritual journey, I joined the Beacon, which helped me start my religion and spiritual life. Then it also pushed me to help out in chapel and get more involved in activities like the business trip and also being a part of the specialized leadership team. Then also becoming the first chaplain officer at RMA. So shout out to the chaplain for helping me with that as well. Academically, I went from a 2.1 GPA to a 4.1 GPA. That's a lot. That's a big difference. And then I got into colleges that I never would have seen myself at. And now I'll be attending Penn State in the fall. Go Lions. I probably wouldn't have gotten this far now without my parents' help and support. So I love them both. Thank you guys so much. And of course, God's help. But especially, I wouldn't have become president if it wasn't for my friends. One day at dinner last year, I was walking by their table, and the table had Taylor, Ure, Chaplin, and Ali, I think, at the table. and they were like, hey, why don't you run for being class president? And I quickly declined, and I was like, me, class president? I don't think that would be a good fit. Plus, I knew that other people who were running had a better chance of winning than I did. They eventually convinced me, of course, and in the end, I became class president. They saw some potential or something in me that I didn't see before. And right away, that's why it's always good to have people who have your best interests at heart. People who care about you will always tell you the truth, and calm you down when things don't go as planned. That's what I've learned about being a president. Not everything goes as planned, whether it's plan A or plan Z. As long as you work together and people are growing in relationships and bonds, that's all that matters. Again, I want to say thank you. It has been a pleasure being your class president. And congrats to the class of 2020. We've made it.
Colonel John Casarino will now present the appointments to the United States Air Force Academy.
An appointment to the United States Air Force Academy is a great achievement for anyone dedicated to serving our country. The additional training, leadership, and teamwork as displayed while here at RMA is representative of the additional achievement accomplished by all 8 Falcon Scholars this year. The Directorate of Admissions at the United States Air Force Academy takes great pleasure in awarding this certificate to the following individuals: Cameron Camerata, Elizabeth Cassidy, Kylie Haney, Ryan Hidalgo, Rafael Baldonado, Ryan Messer, Blaze Williams, Sam Wolf, please join me in congratulating all of these individuals.
Assistant Dean Derek Leisure will now present the appointments to the United States Merchant Marine Academy.
The United States Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point, New York, is one of the 5 federal academies. Completion of the intensive 4-year regimental and academic curriculum, which includes 3 trimesters at sea on U.S. flag merchant ships and U.S. Navy ships, as well as an internship, leads to a bachelor's degree, a U.S. Merchant Marine officer's license as either a deck officer or an engineering officer, and an ensign's commission in the United States Navy Reserve. An appointment to the Academy is the equivalent of a scholarship worth approximately $262,000 over 4 years. This remarkable achievement reflects great credit on candidates and demonstrates that he or she is already living up to the Academy's motto, Acta non verba, deeds, not words. It is with great honor to recognize the appointment of Benjamin Kobjansky and James Ross to the United States Merchant Marine Academy, class of 2024.
The Army ROTC Scholarship this evening will be presented by Mr. Thane Spears, Norwich University Army ROTC Recruiting Operations Officer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I'm representing the United States Army and Army Cadet Command. Many of you know that the Army is the nation's most trusted institution. Many people don't know, however, that the Army is also the nation's leading provider of merit-based scholarships. This year, the Army is going to spend about $330 million by providing over 14,000 scholarships to deserving young men and women so they can pursue a college education and receive training as an Army officer. Every year in June, high school seniors begin applying for the Army ROTC scholarship. About 10,000 will apply, and roughly the top 2,000 will receive a scholarship based on their performance as a scholar, athlete, and leader. This year, Salali Sosa applied for the Army ROTC scholarship and was awarded one. based on her proved performance. The Army ROTC Scholarship provides full tuition and fees, $1,200 a year book stipend, and a $420 a month cadet stipend. Salali Sosa decided to attend Norwich University, the birthplace of ROTC, one of the nation's 6 senior military colleges, to pursue her academics and begin her career as an Army officer. Tonight, on behalf of Major General John Evans, I'd like to virtually present her with this check for her tuition and fees. This check represents approximately $121,612, which the Army will provide to her for her education. On behalf of Major General Evans, I wish her continued success and the best of luck in her academic endeavors. Thank you very much.
And now please join us in honoring this year's 2020 Horatio Alger National Scholar. Andy Harriman will be presenting the Stephen C. Harriman 82 Outstanding Character Scholarship Award.
The Stephen C. Harriman, Class of 1982 Outstanding Character Scholarship Award. This annual award is given in memory of a man, my brother, who was passionate about his alma mater and found great joy in teaching history, mentoring students, and coaching athletes at Randolph-Macon Academy from 2007 until his passing in 2014. This award is presented to a junior who best models the principles Steve lived by. He's an example of high moral character, provides a welcoming atmosphere for everyone, but especially to new students, is open to friendship to all, is an example of servant leadership, and always takes time to laugh and be joyful in life. This year's recipient is Ethan Mayo.
I would like to introduce Mr. Ed Richards, our bandmaster and presenter of tonight's music awards.
The Semper Fidelis Award is presented by the United States Marines Youth Foundation and the Marine Corps League in recognition of diligence, dedication, and musical excellence as a performing high school bandsman and soloist. This year's recipient is Zeben Jack Song. The John Philip Sousa Band Award recognizes outstanding dedication and superior musicianship and is a nationwide symbol of excellence in musical achievement. This year's recipient is Alan Williams. The Outstanding Instrumental Musician Medal is awarded to a bandsman who in the course of the school year has shown outstanding qualities of musicianship both through individual effort and through performance in the RMA band. This year's recipient is Boyu Barry Zhu. The Herbert Gray Wyatt Band Medal is awarded to a senior bandsman who has shown outstanding leadership within the marching and concert band and the band squadron. The medal is presented in memory of Major Herbert Gray Wyatt, band director at RMA from 1947 to 1962. Major Wyatt devoted virtually his entire career to RMA and its cadets. This year's recipient is Jacob Gailey.
Mr. Michael D'Amato will be presenting the Outstanding Choral Musician Medal.
The Outstanding Choral Musician Medal, awarded to a chorus student who, during the school year, has shown outstanding qualities of musicianship, both through individual effort and through performance in the RMA chorus. This year's recipient is Jure Cherry Chen.
Holly Thompson will be presenting our yearbook awards.
Hi Yearbook staff, the Editor-in-Chief Award, as you most certainly know, goes to a student who is often manic, often frantic, but always dedicated, motivated, and does her best to make the best yearbook possible. Thank you so much, Kat Thomas, our yearbook mom, for all of the hard work you've done this year to make the best yearbook this school has ever seen. Yearbook staff, I miss you all so much, and I wish we could be together right now, eating pizza, having low brain cell moments, and working hard on the production of this year's yearbook, but we've done that virtually, and I think we've done a really good job. The High Standards Yearbook Award generally goes to a student who has gone above and beyond in the production of the Randolph-Macon yearbook, but this year I can certainly say that that has been every single one of you. This year the award goes to someone who has picked up where others left off, helped out with design issues, interview issues, done everything that they could do to make sure that everything went smoothly, and certainly put in a lot of extra hours. So this year's award goes to Lawrence Carvana. Thank you so much for all that you've done, and thank you yearbook staff for all that you've done and continue to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President of Randolph-Macon Academy, Brigadier General David C. Wesley.
It is now my high privilege to introduce the class salutatorian for the class of 2020. He's a remarkable young man who has great athletic talent. He played football for 4 years here at RMA, earning 3 varsity letters, and when he was on the JV, he won the Coaches Award. He played JV basketball in his freshman and sophomore years. He wrestled and earned 2 varsity letters as a junior and a senior. He would have earned 5 varsity letters in baseball had he been allowed to play this spring. He's a remarkably talented young man, a person of style and grace, popular with his classmates and with his teachers, and never without a ready response when he's speaking to the president of the academy. He's the 3rd member of his family to graduate from RMA, and his parents have been terrific supporters of the academy. I'd like to thank Reverend Jonathan Bunker and Dr. Susan Gawalt. Dr. Gawalt in particular, as president of our Parents Association, has done a remarkable job. It's safe to say there's not a single person watching this broadcast who has a student at RMA who has not benefited from Dr. Gawalt's ceaseless efforts. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you a young man of superb academic achievement, a young man who will follow his big sister Emma to Norwich University this fall, our 2020 salutatorian, Cadet Jonathan Bunker.
General Wesley, Dean Hagedis, senior staff, welcome to Academic Night with a Twist, and more importantly, welcome, Class of 2020. Class of 2020, we made it, and while the journey has been long and sometimes uncomfortable, overall it has been amazing. And even though we are not here together, I am proud to say that I am graduating with each and every one of you. While my story with the bond of the Class of 2020 starts officially in August of 2016, for the purposes of this speech, I'm going to start in August of 2013. Why 2013? Because that is when I first stepped onto campus at RMA as a student. I arrived at 6th grade, and the first 2 people I met, AJ Sullivan and Alan Williams. Little did I know that these 2 would become family and some of my closest friends over the next 7 years. We're going to fast forward a little bit to January 16th, 2013, specifically Earth Science class with Miss Llewellyn. We had a lab that day that had something to do with hot water and hot plates. I'm not really sure about it anymore, but the important part is that was the first day Salali Sosa was going to talk to me. Every day I had walked up to her and I said hi, and every day she looked at me with these big wide eyes, refusing to blink and just watched me until I walked away. So this was going to be that day. Anyway, the hot plate wasn't working, so I would go back and try to fix it. But as I was leaving the work area, I tripped and fell over the cord and proceeded to dump a pot full of hot water onto Salali's lap on the day that happened to be her birthday. Now, how hot the water was has been up for debate ever since. I say the water wasn't that hot just because, the hot plate was broken. But Salali says it was hot, so I guess it was. Right, Salali? The only good thing to come out of that was Salali did talk to me. If it was just to say, hey, you're the guy that dumped hot water on me on my birthday. It hurt. But that started one of the closest friends I would have over the next 7 years and will be able to enjoy for the next 4 years of my life. Later in the year, AJ Allen and I decided to adopt a class pet for the class of 2020 in Miss Stokes' English class. It was a wasp we named Peaches. And for 15 minutes, Peaches was officially part of the Randolph-Macon Academy family. Now, you may be asking what happened after 15 minutes, and I'm going to tell you. She landed on Alan's desk, and Alan decided to end her life with a pencil case. But for those 15 minutes, we were close. Fast forward to 7th grade, and Josiah Herring went on one of the most amazing streaks to ever happen at Randolph-Macon Academy. We were in Mr. Curl's English class, being dedicated students, and Josiah decides to go on a streak of not doing his homework for a full month. And by the end of this streak, he would just look up at Mr. Curl when asked, and he would say, do you really expect me to do my homework at this point? I mean, it's been a month already. Finally, we got to 8th grade, and we were so excited to graduate. Whether it was Alan and I discovering that we had every single class together, and to Mr. Lazier's dismay, that he had a 6th period world history class with only 2 people in it, it being Alan and I, and him realizing that he would have to talk to us about ancient civilizations for an hour and 20 minutes every day. And from that point on, every wrong answer we didn't know, the new correct answer would be Ramses, and BCE no longer stood for Before Common Era and instead stood for Bill Curl English. Finally, we got to freshman year, August of 2016. I arrived as a freshman thinking I could conquer the world, and I was the best person ever. Best thing since sliced bread. I thought I was gonna be a rock star. Sergeant Keating was quick to tell me no and that I still had work to do. Whether it was hallway formation and the way he counted down, starting at 10, going subsequently to 5 in order, and then suddenly skipping to 3 and 1, so it never felt like you had enough time to get anything done. Or the hallway cleaning parties we had that were just the best. I mean, who doesn't love removing everything from your room one item at a time, starting with socks? The freshman hall for me became a place where bonds and friendships were grown, but also school property was broken. Whether it was Ozzy destroying an umbrella against a wall, or trying to show off and breaking an exit sign while doing a handstand, or Joe Loudon deciding to break a window with a snowball one day, because why not? Who needs windows anyways? It's not like it's freezing outside. But it wasn't just the dorms that we formed these bonds. It was also the classrooms of Stan Fulton in Crow Hall, where we had Mr. Davies' English class. And he taught us about his infatuation with Charles Dickens and how Juliet did teach those torches to burn bright, and how much he loved to kick Riley out of class. It didn't even matter if Tyler was in the ground in pain. The important part that Riley was on his laptop when he wasn't supposed to, and he needed to leave instantly. If you find a blue Holt grammar book somewhere in Stan Fulton, there is a chance that it has a scoreboard written on it by the class of 2020 that keeps track of who got kicked out the most. And while I say it was a close competition, Riley took it, being the first student ever to get kicked out of class twice in one class period. Sophomore year came, and it was just as crazy. We had some new members added to the RMA family, and the bond only grew stronger, whether it was sitting in student services explaining to Sophia why her nose looked like the Omega symbol, or Joseph and Ozzy screaming at the top of their lungs, talking about who would be the next basketball talent to come out of high school. We got together and we talked, and this is when we discovered that we would no longer be living with each other as a hall. This was the last year classes were going to be sorted by hall. And just remembering the memories of playing Fortnite and Mortal Kombat X in Gabe's room, or when Byron got sick and threw up all over Riley's shoes and he still had to go to school the next day in uniform. It was awful. And the memories of those fire alarms that went off 5 in the middle of the night, and by the 5th one, Jonathan Ellis waking up and saying, "Yeah, mark me up as a casualty, I'm going back to bed," and falling asleep. He never left that building. Fast forward to junior year. It was even crazier than the year before. Mr. Cochran teaching us the joys of skydiving and open heart surgery, and Zephon teaching us all how to fall asleep while standing up. I mean, the kid was talented, let me tell you. Whether it was physics class with Colonel Castorino, when he let me teach him the physics of Mario Kart and actually let me draw on the board. If any of the new physics students are wondering why his stick is broken, just don't answer out of turn during Jeopardy! The death of Mr. Davies hit us all a little harder than anyone would have thought, but class went on. Whether it was preparing for debates with Miss Schoonover, from anything from pancakes versus waffles to, is the death penalty a good deterrent for crime? We learned that argument wasn't such a bad thing, just as long as you knew going into it that you weren't going to beat Sosa and Bunker. We were undefeated on the year, going 4-0 and still unbeaten to today. Finally, we make it to senior year. And it has passed too quickly. And not just because we were sent home or that COVID-19 destroyed it, but it's funny because it taught me some things about enjoying the moment. And while it did hurt and felt that I lost the time and opportunity to get stuff done, I realized not to take moments for granted. Moments like going paintballing with the class in 1970, or going to Sky Zone and playing bubble soccer and hitting a kid so far he landed on top of his head, and the ref had to walk across the place and pick him up and put him back on his feet. These moments, and even some of the moments we didn't get, like senior sunset, these moments I will never have taken for granted, and when I go on to college, I will be ready for all those moments that I may have taken for granted if this had never happened. I would like to say a couple things for the people I'm leaving behind. Sean Thomas, even though I'm not going to be here next year, if I find out you're not doing your math homework, I will come and fix it. To Godfrey and Delaney, don't stop being your goofy selves. Delaney, I know you're an airhead. Please try to remember the drill card completely, and don't forget the little things. Park, you better have that rocket finished by the time I come back, or I'll have someone else drag you down the hall by your feet. Ahmed, I'm going to miss you crushing me in practice. Whether it was wrestling or football, and just being a total goofball. Shakria and Mackenzie, you guys got this. You're going to destroy next year. There is not a single doubt in my mind. So now is the part where I say thank you. Thank you to AJ for being my A1 since day one best friend and getting me through high school. To Alan for not killing me yet and becoming a brother. Just remember, class isn't optional in college, and there will be a bouncer at my wedding to make sure you have a suit on, so you better start shopping now. To Ed for annoying me just enough so that I learned to like him. And Ed, even though you speak French as your first language, you still almost failed it. So I guess you don't speak it at all. To Ure for showing me that I am not the smartest person in the room. Ever since I had chemistry with you sophomore year and you still managed to fall asleep every class yet still get 100 on every assignment he ever gave. To Ben for always telling me to stop being stupid and do my work, yet still willing to throw a rifle at my head because that was smart. To Josiah for being one of my closest friends since 8th grade. Hopefully you remember a white button-down shirt next time you have to wear one. And remember, you still owe me $20 from that bet we made 8th grade year. To Enon for explaining to me calculus when no one else would. To Grace for bringing me that eclair in computer science for my birthday. That was the best computer science class of the year. To Nee for always letting everyone know you were there. To Ozzy for teaching me about self-betterment and always willing to work hard. To Christine for always telling me what she thought of me, even if I really did not want to hear it at the time. To Lisa for having dream time with Echo Flight in the morning and for explaining to me how it is possible to kill a 18-foot spider with a garden hose if you just believe hard enough. To Felix for being the best neighbor I could have all 4 years and waking me up in the middle of the night to rap music because Hugh fell asleep. And to that one time we had a full conversation in study hall, but it turns out you fell asleep sitting up again. Mr. Earhart still needs to see you. To Alex for being the best roommate I ever had. To Watson He for having a room to hang out in and those delicious Chinese snacks. I don't know if you knew this, but those little funnel cake things, yeah, I took all of those. They didn't disappear. I would like to apologize for Caitlin to having to sit between Sylvia and I in physics class. I know it was hard and I'm sorry, but let's not lie, I made that class better. To Maria for always willing to go walks onto me. Thank you, Mr. Harriman and Sergeant Lang for being my mentors. Thank you for Coach Sullivan for teaching me to get better, I need to get out of my comfort zone. To Colonel Castorino for teaching me just hard enough and being the first teacher to force me out of my comfort zone enough to have to ask for help. Thank you, Miss Lane, for tutoring me that year. You're the only reason I got a B. Thank you to Miss Bennett and Miss Young for giving me a space to hang out when I didn't want to go to class junior year. Miss Young, you would be glad to know that senior year I actually did go to class more than junior year, even if I didn't want to. And for having those delicious snacks. I mean, Dum Dums and Kit Kats, you can never go wrong with those. Thank you, Miss Bennett, for having that thing of Greek yogurt when I stupidly decided to eat half a jalapeno in one bite and giving up your breakfast so I was able to eat and cool down my tongue. Thank you to Mr. Plogger for coaching me junior and senior year. Thank you for Miss Harriman for having the most comfortable couch on campus. Finally, thank you to my parents and my sisters. I love you. Thanks for pushing me harder every day. Virginia, my school sister. I am going to miss you, and I promise to always stay in touch. To Sosa, I just can't get rid of you, can I? I mean, it's going to be like 11 years by the time we're done. Nah, I'm joking. It's going to be crazy that we're going to be knowing for each other for 11 years, but you're my partner in crime. And thank you for becoming one of my closest friends and for forgiving me for spilling that hot water on you for your birthday. It's probably one of the better things I did in 6th grade. And finally, Sophia, thank you for sticking with my goofy self, for always being patient, and just know you will always be my Russian butterfly. I love you. I'm going to end this speech with an open letter to Randolph-Macon Academy. Dear RMA, thank you. We all came from different paths, from different parts of the world, yet you took us in and you taught us. Even when sometimes we did not want to learn, you taught us. You showed us diversity in culture and how to deal with people that do not look and think the same way you do, whether it was on the sports field, the classroom, or in the dorms. You have watched over us since we were freshmen. You have helped us grow. You have nurtured us. And in the end, you would give us what we've been asking for since day one, complete and utter independence. While these past couple weeks have been hard without friends, you have made this as easy as possible, whether it was yoga class with Mr. Latham, those Wednesday chapel services you've held, or just having online classes. You've helped us stay in touch with awesome moments that some other schools weren't able to give. You helped us stick together, even when some schools weren't able to help their senior class stick together. And for that, we thank you. This sincerely, the class of 2020. Thank you, and good luck, seniors. Congratulations.
And now for our special medals. We have reached that part of the ceremony where we recognize academic excellence in every discipline. This is the highest honor and recognition each department can assign.
The German medal is awarded to a top student in German. This year's recipient is Chen Zhuri Cherry Chen. Ich gratuleere. Congratulations.
The top Spanish language award for 2020, the Spanish Medal, is awarded to Maria Barroso Ortiz. Congratulations, Maria. Buen trabajo. Good work.
The top French language award for 2020, the French Medal, goes to Dove Ali. Félicitations, Dove. C'est super chouette. Way to go, Dove.
This year's English Department Medal is awarded to a student who's been with us from 9th through 12th grade and has taken AP and honors courses all the way through and excelling at each one of them. This year's recipient is also the head of our Alpha Readers extracurricular reading group. This year's recipient is Taylor Wreath. Congratulations, Taylor.
The highest recognition and honor the mathematics department can give is the Math Medal. This year's recipient is Jackie Chen. Congratulations.
The highest science award for the academic year 2019-2020, the Science Medal, is awarded to Cassie Tang. Congratulations, Cassie. This award is well deserved for all your science excellence.
It is my privilege and honor to award the 2020 Social Studies Medal to Cadet Benjamin Kubjansky. Congratulations, Benjamin, and best of luck next year and in all of your future endeavors.
The Kemper History Medal for 2020 goes to Taylor Wreath.
The Jesse K. Brennan Medal is the highest award for the study of Bible and religion. This year, the recipient of the Jesse K. Brennan Award is Cassie Tang. Congratulations.
The Boyd M. Guttery 45 establishes the Humanities Medal in recognition of the outstanding teachers during this time at Randolph-Macon Academy, particularly Doc Register, who fostered his love of literature and all the humanities. Mr. Guttery served with distinction for 28 years in the United States Army, including the Korean War, attaining the rank of colonel. During his career, he received 4 battle stars, the Combat Infantry Badge, the Korean Medal, and the Commendation Ribbon Korean Unit Citation. He enjoyed a successful civilian career in telecommunications and finance, but his lifelong focus was on his church, family, and education. The recipient for the Guttery Humanities Medal for 2020 is Alan Williams. Congratulations, Alan.
Lieutenant Colonel Michael Starling will present the military awards.
Welcome. At this time, I would like to announce this year's Honor Flight. The Honor Flight is the flight that achieved the highest total score through all of the challenges, competitions, and spirit events throughout the 2019 and 20 academic year. Next year, the Honor Flight is permitted to fly the Honor Flight streamer from its guidon. This year's Honor Flight is from 1st Squadron and is Bravo Flight, led by Cadet First Lieutenant Alex Wang and Cadet Master Sergeant Jesselyn Brooks. Congratulations to all the members of Bravo Flight. Now, your group commander, Cadet Colonel Taylor Wreath.
Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in today. My name is Taylor Wreath, Corps Commander for the 2019-2020 school year and the first virtual Corps Commander in RMA's history. I am honored to have the opportunity to speak tonight and hope you are all safe and healthy in your homes. I want to take a quick moment to thank all the people that made my time here at RMA special. A big thank you to my mentors, teachers, coaches, the lifelong friends I've made, and especially to my family. Mom and Dad, I will forever be grateful for everything you've done for me. I love you more than the most. It has been 4 years since we started long-anticipated high school, and although we did not all start together at RMA, we are ending together, which is truly a special thing. I'm really blessed to be a member of a class as talented, diverse, and amazing as all of you are. So 4 years have gone by, and each year has been pretty unique. Of course, we have all had different experiences, but they're all pretty similar at their core. Freshman year brought independence. Sophomore year increased endurance as we survived the least exciting year of high school. And junior year, confidence, simply for surviving it. Senior year brought a lot of things, global pandemic included, but we are living in history. History that may mean binging Netflix to a lot of us, but still history. Class of 2020, if you're anything like me, I've accepted the fact that I will not have a normal graduation, but that will only make future events more special. I am already exaggerating my story to tell my kids, and if they ever complain about high school or their graduation, I will seize the moment to say, back in my day. So there's a plus. So the word I would give to senior year is unexpected. And just like that, high school is gone. Chapter closed, movie ended, game over. Now we have a lifetime ahead of us, but more than a lifetime, potential, options. So many options that it can seem scary sometimes. And as an 18-year-old, I haven't lived much myself, so I can't say valuable words of wisdom or advice on how to live that lifetime, use that potential, or choose those options. But one thing I know is that to find what will most fulfill you as you spring forward into the world is to sample the world. Try this, do that, take that risk no matter how scary it will be, because the greatest things in life are born out of risk. One plus to having so much time to watch Netflix is you find some pretty powerful stuff on it. In one movie that I saw, the main theme was comparing life to a painting. Here's a quote from the film. "The difference between a good painting and a great painting is typically 5 strokes, and they are usually the 5 boldest strokes in the painting. The question, of course, is, which 5 strokes? After one's slaved away making a pretty good painting, the last thing you want to do is make a bold stroke and potentially ruin everything. So life is the painting, of course, and how you paint is based on your actions. Now, unlike a painting, life can have some pretty serious consequences if you take a bold stroke, a risk, and fail. But, and the movie continues, if you ruin your painting, you have to know that you have everything in you to get back to that pretty good painting again. But if you never do the bold stroke, you never know if you could have had a great painting." The movie is called The Half of It, and I highly recommend it. But what it is saying here is that these bold strokes, the risks that we're going to have a chance to take, drop out of school to pursue a dream, quitting the job we hate, starting a family, moving to a new environment, can turn our pretty good life into a great life. We just have to be willing to lose the pretty good life we have, but know we have what it takes to get back to it and go even further. So, when I hopefully see you all again in the future, when we are all old and gray, most of our lives lived, potential used, and choices made, I so look forward to hearing about your bold strokes. Thank you.
I'm pleased to present this year's Military Excellence Awards. The first is the Cadet in the Arena Leadership Award. Simply inscribed, "It is not the critic that counts, nor the person who points out how the strong person stumbled, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who knows the great enthusiasms and great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at his best knows the triumph of achievement, and who at his worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." This year's recipients are Cadet Lieutenant Colonels Citlali Sosa and Josiah Herring. Congratulations to you both. The James M. Mills Military Excellence Award is presented to a cadet officer who throughout the academic year has consistently exemplified the personal characteristics of Lieutenant Colonel James M. Mills, a former RMA faculty member. These include leadership, positive attitude, integrity, loyalty, and perseverance. This year's recipient is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Grace Wagner. Congratulations. The Commandant's Military Excellence Award is presented to a cadet officer who throughout the academic year has demonstrated the characteristics of leadership, integrity, and loyalty, and has shown exceptional military bearing and appearance and exemplary execution of all assigned duties and responsibilities within the Cadet Corps. This year's recipient is Cadet Captain T-Ray Bayo Adeyemo. Congratulations. Finally, the Douglas MacArthur Cadet Leadership Award is presented to a cadet who demonstrated exceptional performance of duties and responsibilities in a leadership role throughout the year in the areas of academics, athletics, and leadership, as was exemplified by Douglas MacArthur as a cadet at the West Texas Military Institute and the United States Military Academy. This award is sponsored by the Douglas MacArthur Foundation in Norfolk, Virginia. This year's recipient is your Corps Commander, Cadet Colonel Taylor Wreath. Congratulations.
And now for the prestigious awards. The Most Genteel Female Award is awarded to that female cadet in the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty and staff, best exemplifies genteel qualities. This year's recipient is Grace Wagner. The Most Genteel Male Award is awarded to the male cadet in the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty and staff, best exemplifies genteel qualities. This year's recipient is Lawrence Carvana. The Athena Award goes to a senior young lady who, in the opinion of the faculty and staff, merits special recognition for demonstrating leadership and service. The Athena Award goes to Taylor Wreath. The Lincoln Award goes to a senior young man who, in the opinion of the faculty and staff, merits special recognition for demonstrating leadership and service. The Lincoln Award goes to James Ross. The George M. Wines Unselfish Service Award is awarded to that student or students in the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty and staff, has rendered the most unselfish service during the school year for his or her class and the school. This service is done with no thought of personal award in mind. This year, the George M. Wines Most Unselfish Service Award goes to Sitlali Sosa. Once again, please welcome General Wesley for our closing remarks.
And now we come to the highlight of the evening, the announcement of the name of the best all-around cadet. This award is presented to the cadet in the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty and staff, possesses, among others, the following high qualities of character: honor, courage, scholarship, leadership, and service. I cannot think of a single cadet more deserving of this award than tonight's recipient, Cadet Benjamin Kopchansky. Congratulations, Ben. You've lived those qualities every day I've ever seen you here at Randolph-Macon Academy. Thank you for all you've meant to me, to our teachers, and to your fellow students. I know you're going to do great things at the Merchant Marine Academy. We wish you well on that journey. And that brings us to the end of our show. What a remarkable assemblage of talent we have here at RMA. I want to thank you all for participating and for commenting in the chat box. We're blessed as an academy to have wonderful, talented, energetic, lively students. Let me ask them to close by thanking two groups of people who made these things possible. Whether you won an award tonight or not, turn and thank your parents. They've given you a remarkable opportunity to attend this academy. They've made your growth as a young person possible. And oh, by the way, the first chance you get, remember to thank your teachers for the progress you've made. I'm always encouraged when I think of the talent and skill, the raw ability of the Corps of Cadets here at RMA. We truly are one family, thanks to their work. And so now I bid you all a good evening. I'd ask Chaplain Orndorff to give us a benediction. Thank you so much.
To you, seniors, As your classes and grading is now complete, may you strive towards excellence in all you do. As the speeches conclude, may you raise your voices to pronounce justice and peace in our world. As the fanfares cease, may you sing of joy, even in dark and lonely places. As the applause quiets, may you celebrate and lift up those around you. And as you graduate on Saturday, may your achievements grow and cause growth in your communities. And may we all know the overwhelming blessings of the one who created each of us and calls each of us by name. Amen.